that's that's pretty rough that you had the both I call them both like, because my mom was at an age where, I don't know, like you take on that role. Now you're that adult, and that childhood
Yes.
that you were under them, you're like, you lose that title. You lose the title of a child. And then it's like you step into something else, and it's like you have to get to know yourself on a different scale.
Yeah, it's like passing of the baton.
Yes.
And as I do these interviews, I yearn so much, like unbelievably, to talk with my grandmother and my mom like I never had before. When they were here, it was like I was in this bubble and this world and never thought of them not being here and wanting to have asked them certain questions and the guiding that I used to get from them. I mean, I know what you're saying. Like you take it for granted, but I would give anything just to talk to my mom and ask her certain questions about certain people. And our family's huge on both sides, and my grandmother and all of the history and roots and stories that left with them. And so now I almost record everything that my dad says when I'm around
I
him and
was
take.
just gonna say, I'm sure that there's a way that you can get these stories, right? Like you
Yes.
might have to dig, yeah. And that that's an experience in itself, because I've dug into my roots and my that they might have left you. It might have been a good thing that it wasn't directly from them. Like you'll have a different experience digging in and looking at that, because just that in itself is a major growth rather than just being told it. So but yeah, but you're lucky you have your dad. My dad passed away much when I was a lot earlier, younger. So I mostly it was my mom and my grandparents. They were they stayed back home and they passed away over there. So it was mostly her, but she didn't like to she went through a lot of trauma and like a lot of pain, and she didn't really want to talk about it. So I had to still, even though she was alive and I picked up whatever I could, I still had to do the digging myself. But I loved it because I kept being sent in different directions, and it was like it's an exploration of yourself and your ancestry. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so I just never knew that I would find myself like in this space, like